once again. Let's see if my special friend joins me. I'll just wait a few seconds. There you are. 18 seconds in. There's my special friend. Hi. Yeah. So I took today off. I had a little surgery, so I thought I could go back to work, but the doctor advised me and the receptionist that I should take a week off. So I'm going to take 4 days off. While I was at the doctor's office, I just automatically canceled off my 4 days that I had scheduled. So basically Thursday to Sunday. Sure, Skip the Dishes wasn't too happy. The first day they kind of sent me a notice. Oh, you're gonna bugger up the system. Yeah. Whatever. And then as soon as I took that 4 days off of my schedule, I went back and looked to see what shifts were available, because obviously I dropped mine, so they were going to pop up. And then my shift showed up, but only for Thursday and Sunday. Friday and Saturday shifts got snapped up in a heartbeat, so wasn't too concerned about it. But yeah, so I'm just resting up for the next few days. Going to take it easy because I need to be in tip-top shape when we get back. So there's been a few things going on. I guess I should have had this on live while I was going through everything. But been doing a little shopping because when you're in business, when you purchase things for your business, you can write it off. So I'm looking to look professional, as professional as possible. But on top of that, I like looking good. I like to feel good, and it's good representation, right? So if we can kind of look in a color coordinated situation, I think that would be kind of respectful to represent the company in a certain manner. So I ordered myself a few shirts and a few pairs of pants and also a belt. I was going to get some shoes, but I think I'll wait till we get 1 or 2 paychecks in. I'll just operate with what I have for now. I'll get myself some nice pair of shoes. And obviously, I still got to get myself a haircut. So a haircut can also be a write-off. You got to remember this. You're in business now, and you need to look professional. So you can go to a hairstylist or a hair salon and get yourself a nice trim. And if you want to get all fancy with it and do a perm or curl, to curl your hair or dye it so that it matches your outfit or whatever you want to do, you can do that. It's a business write-off. So instead of me going in the bathroom like I was thinking of doing and just making a live show of me chopping my hair off, I had the idea to find somebody, that might possibly be a YouTuber as well, or somebody that's willing to live stream with me while I get my hair cut. Not that it's anything fancy, but I don't know. You can see the transformation and just adds for some content, right? But so those are the kinds of things that we go through when we're in business. We can start to write off our lifestyle, and that's where we're able to gain the money. So yes, you're paying out. So you're gonna pay out for this haircut, and you're gonna pay out for the shirt and the pants and the belt and eventually the shoes. But you're looking good, and you're representing your company with a certain uniform style and look, right? Like you go to Best Buy, they have everybody in black and blue shirts that Best Buy supplies. Go to Tim Hortons if you're Canadian, and you'll see the workers are provided with a shirt and pants and a little visor there. So you see this in businesses around where they want their people to represent themselves and look similar. So what I was thinking was to just follow the color code, obviously, of what we have with Skip the Dishes, and it's red, black, white, and they have a blue top, so you could do that. The car is black, so red and black sounds good, right? And then I was just gonna go with like a reddish brown shoe, and my belt is kind of two-toned. It looks pretty cool. Yeah, I got a braided belt. Then had to go a little bit fancy, a little something special. Shirt too. You wait. Yeah, I like to look good. So yeah, and now the next thing is we want to track everything, right? So I was kind of like just playing around and thinking about it and see if I can find a tracker, because we're obviously getting tracked on here on the Skip the Dish app for your mileage. But that's the thing, is they're only tracking the mileage from point A to point B. Now, if you were to sit at point B and wait for the next order, then it would be from point A to point B again. But I'm not that kind of guy. I want to make it back to more of the central area where the restaurants are located, so I'm close to the restaurant for the next pickup. So I'm still technically driving for business, but it's not being documented by Skip the Dishes. So I went to go and look and see if there was another app that I could use, but also something that's going to track my receipts, like all of my expenses and everything, because I'm a business. And it's a lot easier if you can just track the stuff as you go. And with technology nowadays, it makes it so much easier. So I'm like, I have phone. Really, how much can it help me? Like, this is a major tool, right? I'm using it all day to get orders, and then all day to use the app for the maps until I really get to know the city, which is going to take a couple of weeks, right? Like, it could take good 6 to 8 weeks, but before I really get to know the city to the point where I can see an address pop up, okay, I know exactly where that is, where I am, and boom, go for it, and not have to use the Google app, and then therefore save myself some of my data. But at the same time, utilizing data, I have the plan now set up where I have, what was it, 16 gigs at $120 a month. So that's a fair amount of data. Um, but when we did that live stream, that sucked up a lot of data, right? That was 2 gigs. That was a lot of money. So my phone bill was actually due right away, and then with the added phone on, it was up to $98. So I put $200 on my cell phone bill or the credit card, and then I put it right onto the cell phone bill. Um, so we want to start tracking all of this stuff so that it's in somewhere, like in some sort of database. Otherwise, it's going to be a huge fiasco at the end of the year. It's just going to be a freaking pain in the ass, and we don't want that. The more we can do as we go, like just literally on the fly, uh, accounting everything, the easier it is at the end of the year on you, like you, especially like you. That's it. It's gonna be easier on myself. You know what I mean? Like the lot easier I can make it on myself, the more I can put my attention into what I need to do business wise. Like, and that's basically driving my car right now and making these orders happen, these deliveries. That's my business. So we are a subcontractor, and yes, it seems like we're not making a lot of money right now, but when it comes time to the tax benefits, that's when we're going to make our money. That's the key here, okay? This is where you guys got to hold on if you're going to get into this independent courier service business. This is what you have to see is the long run, not what's up front, because it doesn't seem like a lot of money, right? Like I just did a 30-hour shift, mind you. I had 5 hours off, and then I had 2 hours off, so almost 7 hours off, something like that within it. I don't know, 5 to 6 hours. I can't remember exactly. Still kind of half asleep, whatever. But if you're following through with me up till now, you can kind of see how many hours I put in. So the first day we messed up. We lost an hour and a half of production because we're sitting there freaking lollygagging. So we worked from 10 till 3 because we kept getting extensions. So that kind of helped. But then it would have been nice to have that extra hour and a half on there. So we had 5 hours there. And then I had that break off from 3 till 7, had a little bit of a nap, and then went right from work from 7 till 3 in the morning with a 45-minute break in between. Now, I was fortunate enough, and this is where I can see that I can make a living off of just skip the dishes, okay? Because it would be a lot to try and handle another courier service and try and maintain my good average with skip the dishes so that they just keep sending me orders, because that's where their algorithm works. This is how I'm understanding it, right? We'll get into that in a little bit here. But anyways, what I'm getting at is with ordering everything. So I downloaded this app, and now I completely forgot what its name is, but we're linking up our bank accounts. QuickBooks. So it's QuickBooks for your phone. And QuickBooks is one of the best apps out there, or one of the best, accounting platforms or software. So I saw it on here. It was like on top of the list, and it was free to download the app. Okay, you get your first month free, and then for the first year it's $9.99 every month, and it's set up to come out of my bank account every month. On top of that, it's set up so that they send me a notification so that I know ahead of time that they're going to take that $9.99 out of my account, so that we can make sure that there's adequate funds there. And then into the next year, it'll be $19.99 every month. But this is a business write-off, so we're not going to worry about, that monthly membership fee. This is a write-off. This is something that we want. To pay this little price is massive. Like the amount of time and hair pulling situations you're going to save, or that I'm going to save myself, and you will as well if you get into this, is it's worth it. So I'm definitely happy and very interested in getting into this app right away. So anyways, I'm just going to link my accounts, and I should get a business bank account, but right now I'm a sole proprietor and I don't need a GST number, and my savings account really isn't doing anything. So that's yeah, I know I've been bad. I was saving really good right up until the whole YouTube thing, and then I started buying camera gear and cameras, and kind of went on a little crazy trip there. Still on it, don't get me wrong, but we've got to concentrate on business now and get this business operating to the point that we can continue on with YouTube and grow both of these businesses together, right? I want to be able to speak to you more, and not only you, you're a great friend. I want others to come visit and learn. And not everybody's into this. Might just be entertainment. And but on top of that, they might be interested in another business type situation. And with our business advice and what we go through, it might help them with that. But anyways, so I went to link accounts. So let's get organized. Track what you make and spend all in one place. Link accounts. Select from one of the popular ones. It was showing me banks. So I'm with CIBC. Oh, maybe I should keep it on quiet. Whatever. So yeah, this says it can scan. So literally you can go to the gas station, get your receipt, and then scan the receipt so that it just inputs all the data. So that's great for me. I think that's fantastic, because anything you make, food, fuel, whatever, just instantly scan that receipt, done. Your filing is done. Like back in the old day, you're putting that into a file and then you had to write it on a ledger, like another piece of paper. And then once the computers came in, then you could write it on a spreadsheet. But now you can actually just boom, take a picture of it and send it right into the spreadsheet and it's done for you. Like the time saving is just incredible. That's what I mean. Like the price is well worth it. $20 a month for that? You would probably spend $2,000. I used to spend $2,000 a year just on my accountant and at least $1,100 on my bookkeeper. Okay. And that was just my bookkeeper taking all of my financial statements. So all of my business checking account statements and my business credit card statements. Right. And from those two statements, that's where all the bookkeeping was done, and then charged me $1,100 for that, and then $2,000 to the accountant. So this is gonna be what, a tenth of that, like $100 a year, and I could pretty much eliminate the bookkeeper. And possibly even the accountant, because I used to do my own accounting, and when I had the accountant, he was a great guy, don't get me wrong, but kind of drove me nuts because I knew a lot of things that I could write off, and I'd ask him why he wasn't writing it off, and then he give you that whole thing that it was everything else, and it's like it's just a bunch of bullshit, man. You really don't know your job, is what you're telling me, and I could tell by his body language because you can just see how somebody kind of tenses up when they really don't know something, and then they look into space and they try and come up with something, right? Like, come on, man. And on top of that, at the end of all the documents, after he showed me everything, there was a statement where I still had to sign my name to state that he's not liable for any of the numbering or anything on these documents. I'm liable for it. So, like, what's the point, man? If you can do your own accounting, which it's really not that hard, you just have to learn how to make your expenses work into your business, right? Okay. So, yeah, I could buy groceries every day and come home and cook dinner, but I got to take that time to cook dinner. Now, right now, I don't have my girlfriend at home. So that's fine because that's a good time for us to spend together. We cook and then we can talk and we enjoy dinner together. Sometimes I'm not always the greatest for the talking and the thing. I eat and run. Um, but right now, I want to try and get as many hours in and try and, make this business work, build it up, get the things that I want to get to add on to the business and make the YouTube, the live stream work in my car. Then I need to put attention into that. So the least amount of hours I can take off, the better. So I'm going to try and figure it out. Like between 3 and 7 o'clock in the morning is definitely a no run situation. So that's 4 hours right there that I can definitely take off to sleep. And the sooner I can get to sleep, the better, the more rest I get. So then have the alarm set up so that I'm getting up at least half an hour before so I can get a good 10-minute shower in, just to really stun the body and wake you up. Try and get a coffee in. Usually what I've been doing before with my other job was I'd have the water, like my kettle full of water first thing in the morning. Before I went to bed, I filled it full. That's what I'm getting at. And then first thing in the morning, all I had to do was turn it on and then jump in the shower. And by the time I was done my shower, my water was boiled, and then I could make myself my coffee. So then that's done, right? We're going to have to get ourselves a portable coffee cup. That's another write-off, right? I can go and get myself a nice cup from Starbucks if I wanted, or a Canadian Tire, or order one online, get myself a nice coffee cup, something that's going to suit me, Now, because I'm driving, I don't like to drink too much coffee because obviously it's that situation right now of trying to find a washroom with COVID. I'm not able to use all of the facilities in every restaurant that I go to. That's definitely been one of the experiences. And it's funny because it's like the franchise restaurants like McDonald's and stuff like that, I can't use their washrooms, but then I can go to these non-franchise or the smaller kind of franchises that are just in the area, and they will allow me to use their washroom. So that's been a little bit of a challenge to try and actually sneak those bathroom breaks in between picking up the food. So if I have to wait, that's a great time to try and sneak in a bathroom break. Anytime that I have to wait, I try and sneak in that bathroom break if I can. So that's always good. It's worked out great for me that way. You have to think like that though. Like you have to think smart because you got to remember when you're working for them, you're on a timer. They have a timer on all of these runs. There's a timer basically for everything. As soon as there's a little screen that flashes up that there's we matched you with something. Let's get started. So you click on that. As soon as you click on it, there's a timer for how fast you sweep across. And I try to sweep across so fast that I end up turning everything off, and then I gotta go back into it and then sweep, and then I've lost a few seconds, so that sucks because I I have this feeling that the algorithm is more than we think. Uh, I very much think so. I'm not sure how much other people. I haven't done a lot of research or anything into this, but I don't think a lot of people do. I'm kind of very analytical like that. Um, but I think when you're looking at the algorithm here, let's look at the app. So when you go to the app and we go to our human here on the side, our avatar, where it tells you that you've got, how many deliveries and how many kilometers that you have. On top, there's the promotions. So you click on top promotion and top promotion. I read this out before, but I'm going to read it again because I went through this and I've been thinking about it. And so, how it works: maintain at least 80% acceptance, and you're guaranteed a minimum total earnings, transit pay, and tip for each order you complete. The guaranteed minimum varies by delivery zone. Funny thing is, they don't tell you what the minimum is. Okay. So, what's the minimum tip? And how are you guaranteed the minimum tip if the the client didn't tip? Is that coming from skip the dishes? And the transit pay, well, they're obviously making something off of us as well, right? So they're not giving us the full transit pay. This is how they're making their money. They're obviously making money off the order and somehow the transit pay as well. And then they give us whatever. So whatever they take, who knows? Um, I'm on this side. I haven't ordered, so I don't know that side yet. And that's what I was thinking of doing. I'm like, oh, maybe I should place an order or two and see exactly how much it is, and then talk to the delivery guy and ask him like, how much? This kind of little experiment that I'm doing. So, how much did they give you for the tip, and how much did they give you for delivery charge, like delivery pay, from what I had got charged, right? So yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I, I don't know. I was just thinking that would be one way to kind of figure out. I can't deliver to myself, otherwise I would. That would be great because then I could just kind of keep it on the down low and nobody else has to know the way my mind is thinking. But yeah, we're talking about this live, so whatever. Somebody might clue it eventually, and then think like, whoa, yeah, you might be onto something. So, anyways, The next little spot on here says your acceptance is the percent of orders you accepted and completed out of the last 10 offers received. So that's fine. That's pretty generic, right? So that's just the acceptance is the percentage of orders you accepted and completed. So you either swipe the green button after you click the orange button saying, oh, let's get started. You swipe the green button and you get started, or you just leave it and let the timer run out and you've not accepted it at this point, right? So there's a little question mark in here. And when you go in the question mark, a whole nother list pops up. So this is the help list. And there's two different categories here, the top up promotion and the acceptance rate. So I'll just read through this with you. I was reading through it earlier here. Does the top up promotion take into consideration other reimbursements like holds at the merchant? The top up promotion is not impacted by other reimbursements, like in the case of a hold at the merchant. If an offer is eligible for the top up promotion, all other applicable reimbursements will be applied in addition to it. Does the top up promotion take into consideration how much the customer has tipped? For each eligible offer, the top up promotion will ensure that your total earnings, transit pay plus tip, will be the amount guaranteed in your delivery zone. I've had a few like with no tips, period. The customer stated they would tip in cash, but didn't when I delivered. Will my top up be adjusted? The top up promotion is calculated from the customer's stated tip and transit pay. If the customer does not provide their stated tip, the top up amount will not be adjusted. Okay. So acceptance rate. What is my acceptance rate? The offer acceptance rate is the percentage of the offers you complete versus the offers you are presented with. If you accept 8 out of 10 offers, your offer acceptance rate is 80%. Your offer acceptance rate is always calculated on your last 10 offers, right? So whatever they send to you, like the last 10 that they send to you, is up to you to accept or not. And if you accept at least 80%, 8 out of 10, then you're in a good acceptance rate with them still. What counts as accepting an offer? Offers are considered to be accepted if you accept an offer and complete the delivery. You accept an offer, but the order is undeliverable because of the customer. You accept an offer, but the customer or merchant cancels the order. Fair enough. What counts as declining an offer? Offers are considered to be declined if you allow a new offer to expire, you accept an offer and then request that skip reassign the order. You accept an offer and the order must be reassigned by skip. So those are pretty, pretty legit. I accepted, declined an offer, but my acceptance didn't change. Is something wrong? Your acceptance is always calculated on a rolling basis, based on your last 10 offers, allowing you to improve your acceptance rate over time. If your acceptance stays steady, it means that you're averaging out to the same percentage. So, where do you see your acceptance rate? Like, I'm not understanding where you see your acceptance rate. I understand what the acceptance rate is, but where exactly is there somewhere that you can see that? I haven't found that yet. So I don't know. But they talk like there's somewhere to go see it. That's what I'm getting at. In my mind, I don't know. Maybe I'm misinterpreting this, but that's just how I'm understanding it. Does my acceptance rate carry over from shift to shift? Yes. Your offer acceptance rate is always calculated based on your last 10 offers, regardless of when you received those offers. So, this is why I took the 4 days off, guys. So, for one, yes, I had a medical uh, excuse, obviously, like I had a minor surgery. So, I'm a subcontractor. I can work the hours that I choose to work and not want to work. Um, Regardless if they say that I have to cancel within 48 hours, right? So, because like today, I literally canceled within 4 hours. you know, like it is what it is. I wanted to work, don't get me wrong, but after the surgery, I sat in the chair for 15 minutes like I had to because I had to drive myself home. And from there on, I could feel that no, I need to take the time off. So I definitely took the 4 days off. I was told to take a week off, but 4 days sitting at home is going to be quite enough for me. I'm sure if I take it easily enough, that I will be fine and we'll be full bore ahead again. So now, that being said, I'm coming up with a little plan of how I can work this because I want to try and get in as many hours as I can possible, but yet I still need adequate rest because if I don't, then I'm going to burn out, right? The law states that you should have like 8 to 6 hours, probably probably a little bit more, but I know myself that my body needs 6 hours sleep when I go to sleep. Now, if I can retrain my body so that I can do shift sleep, now we're talking. So here I got this idea because between 3 and 7 o'clock, that's 4 hours that I have to take off no matter what. There's no shifts between 3 and 7 o'clock. So as long as I can use those hours to sleep, and then I'll do a shift, and in the middle, somewhere in the middle, take another set of time off to sleep in there so that I can just keep rotating from cycle to cycle, right? And I'm just hammering through days, hours, and miles, and just going freaking bonkers making money. Because I really have nothing else to do, man. Like I said, my girlfriend's gone. I can sit here and do YouTube videos and talk like this and carry on for hours, but I'm not making any money. Right? You know, like Buddy says, go find a low minimum wage job. Like, yeah, great. I can go do that too. But then you have to work your 8 hours and that's it. And it's what they schedule you to, right? So then it's not like I can go and pick up another freaking job next door and be scheduled according to, oh, you just worked your 8 hours here. Okay, we're going to give you 8 hours here. And it's going to be, it's going to work out just fine. It doesn't work like that in this world. Okay. Plus, I don't want to work for somebody. I don't want to have a boss. I want to be the boss. Right? So that's where the acceptance thing comes in. Do I want to accept it or not? And it's like, well, if I need a break, then I don't accept it. But I'm not that kind of person. I accept anything that comes my way, and then I just work in my breaks accordingly. So that's why it's always good to have, like, water and a few refreshments or whatever with you in the cars or with me, whatever. If you're driving, you'll get. So I try to keep some refreshments in the car, like water. I like sparkling water, so I'm gonna go to Canadian Tire again, go get myself another canister because I can make my own sparkling water at home. It's definitely a lot cheaper, just because we get and we can write off things, doesn't mean we want to go freaking crazy with it, right? Okay, because we want to put money in other places. Yes, this isn't going to quite make sense to you at first or right now, but yes, at the end of the year, we want to be at zero. Okay, we want to be at zero. Trust me. Just go with me on this. We want to spend all our fucking money. Okay, because that's where the tax benefits come in. And it's not spending it, it's reinvesting it, and it's how you reinvest it. So as long as we can build up enough coin to reinvest it into some decent investments, then it's well worthwhile. So it's not like I'm going out and buying booze and candy and chocolate bars and chips and shit, man. Like, no, we're talking about reinvesting the money in real estate or something that's going to appreciate or maintain its value and then pay us back in return. So what is my acceptance rate? The offer acceptance rate is the percentage of the offers you complete versus the offers you were presented with. If you accept 8 out of 10 offers, your acceptance rate is 80%. Your offer acceptance rate is always calculated based on your last 10 offers. What counts as accepting an offer? Offers. Did we not read through all this? Yeah, offers are considered to be accepted if you accept an offer and complete the delivery. So that's tricky. You got to make sure you get it to the right address because a lot of the addresses I'm dealing with, there's one of 1520 A, B, and C behind, and it's dark out. You can't see anything. It's a pain in the ass. So they write instructions, and you got to really follow the instructions, but it's still dark out, and you can't see anything. It's a pain in the ass. So I ordered myself a flashlight. That's another thing I ordered up. A 90,000 luminous flashlight. Let me see here if it shows here still. Oh yeah. I got like the brightest thing possible. Yeah, it says 90,000 lumens. Just, a nice handheld thing. It's $40. The thing about it is it has a rechargeable battery and a USB plug-in. So to me, that's quite important because now I can just plug it in and recharge it in the car while we're driving, right? I don't need to bring it in the house and charge it in the house. So that's primo because it doesn't have to leave the car except for when I got to go find the address. But I was thinking, about getting some business cards. I actually made up a design and I was going to get some business cards so that I can tape them to the bag. But that's another step that just slows me down. Yeah, it's kind of a nice little thing, but I don't think many people will notice it because by the time they get their food, they're just going to want to rip the bag open. And when it comes time for them to do, I don't know how the whole system works on their end. Okay, that's the thing. I need to make a few purchases through Skip so I can see that end of things and understand the whole algorithm a little bit better. Because I don't know when they can do the performance evaluation on you. Like if it's right away, right after they get their meal, or if they have some time to wait, right? So if they had some time to wait, then the little card thing might work because eventually they're going to see it. But if they have to do it right away, there's good possibility that it's gonna be not seen. But basically, I was just gonna give them a nice little thank you and ask them to give me a good review. That it really helps me out, right? Because I have this feeling that the algorithm is more than just accepting offers. Okay, and so when you get back into it, why do I think that? So we could read the other one as well. It's the same pretty much, the fast track offering. We've read it all through before. Like it's all the same. What is my acceptance rate? What counts as an offer? What counts as a decline? I accepted. Does my acceptance rate carry over? what factors go into fast track offer matching? So this is the only one that we haven't read out of all of this. The offer matching algorithm considers a number of factors while matching offers to couriers, such as vehicle type, distance from the merchant, and offer acceptance rate. But is that everything? I don't think so. Because it says a number of factors such as, okay, the wording in there. So it's not just those things, right? So that's what I'm saying. From the moment you click that button to say, oh, we have a match, and then the swipe, it's all counted. So the quicker you can swipe, that's a faster acceptance rate. Because I don't even read where it's going or what it's doing. I just accept it. Like, fast. I know, I'm crazy. And then I just want to get on it. Like, there's no holdup because I think the acceptance rate has more to do with it. And then it's how fast you get to the store, like to the merchant, and then how quickly you get to the deliverer, like the final location from A to B. One thing I clicked on really fast, I saw it, and then I clicked on it and it disappeared. And I thought I would see it again, like somewhere later on. So I wish I paid a little bit more attention to it. But I got a bonus somewhere in there, and it doesn't show on my. It doesn't show on my. All on any of my orders. So I'm not seeing where it went to or anything. But so the next thing I'm thinking of the algorithm is this part here, right? Your customer feedback. And that's why I was thinking about making a little business card to try and get more customer feedback. The more customer feedback I get, the better my algorithm goes up, right? Makes sense. So right now it's pretty decent. Like out of 48 deliveries, I've got 12 at good service. So that's a pretty good average, right? That's what, 36 people that didn't give me good service, but 12 did. So what is that, like 20%? I don't know, maybe my math's bad. Maybe it's only 10, but I'd say that's like 20%. Pretty close to it. Yeah, this is 48 and this is 12. So whatever. If you don't think so, I think it's close to about 20%. That's pretty good. Or 2%, however you want to calculate it. But, like, so then my other one's friendly is at 8, very polite, 8, followed instructions, 7, and above and beyond, 6. So, I've got some good marks on here. If I can bring this up so that I can get it so that, every second person or every person gives me feedback, then my algorithm goes up, and then I'll start earning more than the minimum, hopefully. So I don't know what the minimum is here. Maybe the minimum is at 750 because I noticed as I started gaining more and getting better, all of my numbers went up, and then I screwing up a little bit there at certain times in the day. But let's look at, thinking about that. So let's look at our orders, right? So I'm on 3 days. I got $447 total earnings. So first day I had 3 orders, And the first one was sweet. Like, you can't beat that. 18.4 for my first order. That's how much I made. And so the transit pay was 9 and my stated tip was 904. So that's pretty decent. Like, you can't beat that. It's funny because on here it doesn't show anything. Oh, okay, let's see what happened. So this is my first order, restaurant. See how there's only 4 lines there? Transit pay, stated pay, restaurant delay reimbursement, other reimbursement. Okay, how you receive your earnings is down here. So cash collected or direct deposit, and I do direct deposit. But it's all going to be direct deposit. And then the Shark Club, I like that. Like, the Shark Club's pretty good. People that eat at the Shark Club pay fairly decent. Transit pay 6.8 and stated tip 7.39. So, that's not bad. 14.19. So almost 14.20. And then the Shark Club, for you guys that don't know, it's just like it's a nice pub. It's an upper class pub. It's a nice place. Just nothing super fancy, but it's the atmosphere, I guess. And they're all kind of designed very similar, so you get that similar atmosphere everywhere you go, right? So then the second one was 7.59, transit pay 4.54, stated tip 3.05, and then restaurant delay and other reimbursements. So that's in there again. Now this is where it's going to get interesting because we got to Wednesday and I got 38 orders. I can remember I worked 2 days, but they're going to break it up into the different days. And so was the first one, Indian spice. Now they're showing all the same. So then they do another thing. So I got the transit top-up pay. So sometimes that gets added in there. Now I'm not quite sure why. Maybe because it's gets to heavy traffic at that point, so I have no choice but to take a little bit longer, which costs me more fuel and time. So maybe that's why I get the top-up pay. But they really don't state anything in here to let you know why. So then, yeah, there's another top-up pay I got of 96 cents. So they just show up every now and then. So it must be due to peak, maybe it's peak times of travel. But otherwise, you just see these 4. So Thunderbird, I had to take this chicken to this guy, and I was like right beside where I needed to take it, but I drove down into the parking lot into another thing, and he was right beside it. So that's what's been driving me quite a bit. Like, Google Apps stops me a house or 2 before the actual house. It drives me up the bloody wall, especially when it's dark outside, because it stops me like 2 houses before the actual house, and then I'm outside running around like a freaking raped ape trying to find this house, and nobody turns their lights on. So I've been thinking maybe I should communicate with them a little bit more, show some more professionalism, but rather than phone them, because it seems a little too harsh to phone people nowadays. People don't like answering the phone. They feel all weird. It's like how they, it's so it just seems better to just text them. So I just say, hey, your skip's here. So maybe I'm gonna add in a little bit more on that and like, hey, your skip has arrived. Would you mind if you have a patio or porch light? Could you turn it on, please? It just helps me so I can see your address and helps me unload. Sometimes it's really, really dark. Like, it's hard to see where you are, tripping over stairs or whatever. And then, yeah, then it gets dangerous. But then that's just, going a little bit above and beyond. And so then it might help with my algorithm of getting some more clientele. So that's why I was thinking, well, maybe I'll just stay away from the business cards because, yes, it's another business expense and they may not see it. It's a nice added touch, though, because then I might be able to promote my YouTube channel as well, right? Um, but nevertheless, it's funny that I got a transit pop up on this one because I actually pulled out of the parking lot, drove past the four-way lights, look up because he's like, yeah, it's over here, it's over here. And it's like, I was standing right beside him when I'm on the phone, like almost literally right beside him. So I jump back in the car, and then when I jump out, I run back over the lights and I'm following Google Maps, and it brings me right back to where I was. And then he's standing there. Hey, is that an order for? Yeah. Oh, it was hilarious. So I apologize. He was all cool with it. But yeah, if you guys ever come to Victoria, the Korean wings at this place are unfreaking believable, but they cost the money, lots of money. Like, I'm bad. I'll go there and I'll get 4 different kinds of wings, a little tiny thing of fries to make it a meal, and some kimchi that I never eat. It's my girlfriend that eats it, so I get it, but she's not here, but I still get it. But it costs me like $50 and you get like 4 pieces. Now, don't get me wrong here because we're talking chicken wings, right? And drumsticks. And you're probably thinking these little tiny things. No, they're freaking massive. Like they gotta be the biggest wings and drumsticks I've ever seen. So they're worth the money. It might be pricey, but it's worth the money and oh, just delicious. So yeah, I found that place. My girlfriend found it. And I should have taken my cousin there. It was just like, but one of those things, how much can you get in just a few days? I've been driving around like, oh, I didn't show him this, and oh, I didn't show him. There's so much to see here. Like you got to spend a couple weeks here almost. I've been here a year and I still haven't seen everything, but I've been busy working. So the nice thing about this, and that's another reason why I like this job. Okay, I don't mind driving and I like the change of scenery. I don't like being stuck in a fence all day. So it's nice going to different territories all the time. And I kind of get that. And I'm really getting to know the city and see it. And it's nice. I've had some epic drives and getting to some people's places. So you get a lot of just fast food stuff, and it's kind of working out right now because a lot of people are they're ordering fast food from us as couriers simply due to the convenience and time saving. And one guy asked me about it because he ordered Wendy's, and I brought him his Wendy's, and he asked, "So how is that? How is the drive-through?" And I said, "Oh, drive-through is brutal, man." I said, if I had to go through it, I'd be like another 20-25 minutes before I saw you. And he's like, oh. I said, yeah, they let the couriers go into the store, but just the couriers. And he's like, oh. So that's where it's working for us right now. That's where it's benefiting because, yes, there is a downside that there's only certain locations where we can pick up from and drop. But the upside is we're able to get in there and get out faster than you driving through the drive-through, which keeps us going because the more orders we could get in within the hour, the more money we make. The more we have to wait for food, like any time waiting is money lost, basically. Um, but that being said, if you can get there early, then you're waiting. That's good. Okay. So that's what I'm trying to get at here. And somewhere I got this bonus because I was early. Like I'm early quite a bit because now that I keep going, orders seem to come in and they're all close to where I am. So I'm able to just get to the location quickly. And actually, I've been pretty decent about it from what I noticed. Most of the time, I'm there like 2-3 minutes early. If I can get there like 6 minutes early, yeah. I'm laughing because then I get a break and I get to walk around, and that's how I can get my washing breaks in, right? So and then I can study the map and I can get to know where I am and see where I have to go with my client and what the instructions are, because there's instructions sometimes. It would be nice if people put more instructions on and made it a little bit more clear. Um, because there's been a few that I didn't have any instructions, and you're looking at the pin pad at the whole the apartment building, and you're looking at your phone, and you're like, "There's no instructions, man." You turn over, and the guy's standing right there, so that's good. But at the same time, it's like, what the hell am I supposed to do here? you know. So I've had that a few times because there's been absolutely no instruction yet. There's a pin pad to get in. It's like, do you want your food? Like, so that's where it comes in, because there's a little button on the app. So you can text your client, or you have the option to text or call with my phone. Um, I don't know if that's like that with every phone, but I prefer to text, and I just say, your skip is here, right? Because when I phoned a couple times and it's felt a little awkward, and it's just like, hi, this is Casey, your skip is here. I'm like, oh, um, at first I was asking their name, but then they just get a little bit weird and leery, right? So I just rather say, hi, this is Casey, your skip is here, because then it just breaks the ice right away, and they don't have to feel like, well, who's phoning me? Who's ready to interrogate me? I owe money to the IRS. I don't want to talk to you. You know what I mean? So, yeah, somewhere I got a bonus in there. Um, but oh, yeah, come on. It doesn't. Okay, so these are the morning ones, and then you gotta pay attention to these things, because, like, it's almost like they're not paying you sometimes unless you freaking make something out of it. Because I stated that, hey, one of these didn't show up, and then right after I stated it, oh, it showed up all of a sudden. So I make sure every time I drop it off, if the numbers don't change, because it's right on top, it shows you how much you made. Your earnings are right there all day. If that doesn't change, man, I'm sending a message like instantly for now on, because uh, the action is so high and so intense that if you don't send a message right away, you're gonna forget about it. So you gotta send a message right away. As soon as, if that money doesn't come in, man, like, get on top of them, because that's yours. You worked for it. Your car worked for it, like, don't be getting screwed over, because, like, these aren't big earnings. What I'm clicking through right now, you can see it, right? Like, they're low earnings, 750, 750, 750, 844, 757, 675. Like, these are some of my morning earnings. Some of the morning ones are 10, 13, $9. The thing about the morning earnings is, yeah, they're there. Like, you can make money at 7 o'clock. It's just the tips aren't there. Um, People are paying quite a bit for their food or whatever and the delivery, but they don't want to pay for the tip. So that's the difference in the crowd. And you just got to go with it. That's part of the flow, right? Like, you're going to have your morning crowd, you're going to have your afternoon crowd, you're going to have your evening crowd. And there's a different kind of flow and a different vibe with all of them. And also within the variety of food that they eat. So you just got to take it with a grain of salt, and go with the ride, go with the flow, because that's just part of the acceptance level. You can't be picky. If you start being picky and only want the good ones, then, like, you're not that good, man. Um, it's just like any job. You got to start at the bottom and work your way up. You know what I mean? So take those shitty ones, and eventually the better ones will come. Because I can show you, like, first in the day, 890, 960, 13, 10, 8, 7, 7, 7, right? as the day goes on. They're all 7s and 9s and 8s, 7s. And then as the evening starts coming in, 12s, 12s, 11s, 11s. Still a bunch of 7s in there. And then 14s, 11s. Start getting into the double digits in the evening. But I still have double digits in the morning. So it all kind of averages out. It's hit and miss. And I don't know where it went to, but I can't find that bonus kind of thing. I saw it on one of these. I could have sworn I saw it. Now they're making a fool out of me because I said it and it's not showing up. I looked at this morning and I saw it. Oh, right there. I don't know why I wasn't seeing it. Right up top here. So, up top, I got. Hey, that's where it is. Oh, yeah. It's on here too. Okay. So, on the top of the list, it shows you the list. These are the orders you made for that day. So, how much you made. And then they have transit pay, bonuses, reimbursement pay, and tips. So, bonuses. I'm like, how do you get bonuses? I want some of those. But if you can keep your transit pay and your tips like pretty close to the same, I think you're doing pretty good. Be nice. More is always better, but I'm not going to complain. This one, my tips are a little bit lower, but my top up pay kind of helps bring that up a little bit because my second day of work, 197, and then I had $11 in top up pay, and then 137 in tips, or almost 138, you might as well say, with the top up pay. So then that makes it like what, $149 for my tips and 197 for the transit pay. So not too bad, kind of keeping it fairly close, almost 50-50. And then this day was $38.21, so it's still fairly decent. But then I was thinking, so how I had that little race there the last day at the end of my shift, and it was kind of funny. So I wonder if they're recording us and listening to us while we're actually working. They're tracking us all the time. They say that they're not while the app is offline. Yeah, right. I went in and I shut DoorDash's app off because Skip the Dishes keeps me busy enough. I don't think I want to be trying to fulfill anything else. It's pretty busy here right now. So I'm just going to stick with Skip the Dishes. But the young guy, I should have got his name. He's driving a nice BMW, like a nice BMW. And that's the thing with this. As I get going, I'm going to be able to get a nice car again because it's all company write off. And I'll be leasing it. Something like a Porsche. Why not? Might as well freaking rip around in style and class. I'm already in a Mercedes Benz, and guys are asking me, "You driving this? Has skipped the dish?" The one guy's like, "What are you getting? Some extra special fuel mileage?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "So why are you driving it?" I'm like, "Because this is what I got." Like, he's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "This is what I have. This is all I got. So this is what I'm using." Like, I'm not gonna go out and buy another vehicle and pay some more insurance and everything else just so this can sit at home. Like, this is what I got. So yeah, I'm driving this. So yeah, I'm in a Mercedes, and then now I'm buying myself some nice clothes to look a little bit more professional. I'm already walking around in nice shirt and dress pants and dress shoes, so you know, I'm liking that. I like looking good. Feels good at work. I am so sick of wearing construction clothes and wearing ripped jeans and stuff like that. Like, it's just feels so grubby and dirty. Now I can be clean and looking good. So I really want to know how to get these bonuses. So I started getting into things a little bit more and trying to read further into the contracts and stuff to try and figure all this out. But yeah, I'm thinking there's still something more to the work. There's still a whole bunch of times available for Friday and Saturday. People are dropping shifts. And Monday, there's all kinds of shifts open. And earlier it said there was nothing open for Monday and everything next week. So things change very quickly. People come and go. And I think people come and go pretty quickly from this game because they don't understand business. So they see how much they're making, they see what kind of work they have to do. Maybe it's too much work. They thought they're just going to be driving their car around and it was going to be an easy job. But that's not the case. Like delivering food, there's more to it. You're driving a motor vehicle, you're on the road. You have got a lot to pay attention to, man. You're paying attention to this fucking stupid thing all day long, for one, because it's talking to you, telling you where you need to go. Um, so, as much as it is that I think in my head and study the maps and know where to go, there's so much other shit going on that this really does come in very handy for that sometimes, because there's times that the route's really easy and you'll be able to get there and not need the map to tell you. But then there's other times that it's Victoria is a very bicycle friendly city, and more cities are becoming that as the future, obviously, because it's cheaper, more economic for fuel and stuff. So now, not only vehicles do you have to pay attention to, you also have this whole other lane for bicycles and whatever else is in it. And then you've got bike paths everywhere, crossovers, and traffic like crazy, and people do not know how to drive. Like you see crazy, stupid stuff all day long. So you really have to be very aggressive and defensive with it. And it plays a lot on your mind. Just because you're driving doesn't mean that you're not thinking and getting wore out by that. It's not completely physical. But your body does take a toll on it too. Like mine, I've been sitting in the Zoom boom for the last 5, 6 months. So I'm bouncing around and then I've been constantly leaning over to look underneath that boom. And then I was yanking on the brake. So my back was getting super sore, and it still is because I was constantly leaning over to look under the boom. And then hand getting all cramped up from yanking on the brake. Like, you know, there's other things I could complain about, but it looks like a great, sweet, job because you're sitting there and you just got to move stuff around. But people don't realize how much work it takes to climb up those 3 steps and climb down those 3 steps and do all those other movements that I spoke about all day long because I didn't have a helper. It's the same sort of thing with the vehicle. So now you've got to get in and out of your vehicle. You got to mount and unmount your phone all the time. So you have to have this sequence kind of down in a pattern. Otherwise, it gets very clumsy very quickly, and that starts costing you time. So every second counts, and you have to think about that. Like, this is a business. You're there to make money, you're there to perform a service, and that's what they're trying to do and provide. And within their app, they're kind of keeping you and training you to keep you in line on that service, right? By having the time limit. So there's a time limit for you to get to the restaurant, and then there's a time like for the pickup, not to get to the restaurant, but for the actual pickup, you have to be there. You should be there before the pickup time. And if it's not ready, then it's not your fault. They'll look into it, and they even say they'll look into it with the restaurant. So as long as you're there 2 to 4 minutes beforehand, you're good. Okay. Um, but even if you're there 2 minutes before, don't hang out in your car. You get into the restaurant or wherever the pickup is at the window or whatever. Be ready. Have your gear ready. Have your phone in hand, looking at the freaking app and seeing what the instructions are. If there's any special instructions, like you got to walk to the back of the house, put it at this door, contact so and so or whatever, read those instructions so that you know what your next moves are. And also, I check on the orderer and check on where they're pinned at, because they have a pin and you can see where their address is, and then you can bring up the maps right away and you can check out your route. Now Google Maps will give you two routes usually. It would be nice if you could kind of alter it and make it your own a little bit, because there's some times that I've looked at it and both of their routes are just right out to lunch. So it'd be nice to build your own, but that's when I just memorize my own in my head and go that way, because it has tried to take me so that I would be turning left, and then so I'm crossing traffic. You don't want to be turning left and crossing traffic. But what it has done is tried to make me left turn crossing traffic where there's a medium, like a concrete barrier in the middle of the road. That doesn't work, man. Like Google, you gotta clean up your act. You send people driving out there, driving around the city, and you record this. I've seen your cars; they're very sophisticated, but you still haven't figured out where the mediums are. Like they've been there for years, I'm sure. So, yeah, you gotta really kind of pay attention and know your city, because the app isn't always on top of that. Um, and then doesn't know all the ins and outs of like underground parkades and everything. It knows some of them, but doesn't seem to know all of them. But yeah, it's just part of the tricks that you gotta go through within it. Um, but with the what I've got going on here, I think it's good. They do have things, they obviously have their statement online that tells you that, this is a business. There's a chance or opportunity that you might make or lose money. But that's all based on sound business decisions. And if you understand business, you can make money. You can provide a living and a decent one. So now, like, I could literally eat out at a restaurant all day long. Not that that's the healthiest. So if I'm going to do that, like I've done it before, living on the road as working in the oil field. So you really learn what restaurants you should and should not eat at for good, healthy food, so to say. Um, but then, having an app like this, like I was showing you here, I'm going to move it over to where you gotta have things that you use in very easy and located areas. So like my skip the dishes, I have that up right up here where it's easy, and now I have QuickBooks right there. I have my settings over here so I can get into that for internet purposes or whatever. And then so everything's aligned. My maps are down here, right? The courier and QuickBooks. So it'd probably make more sense to move the maps up by the courier and the QuickBooks down, but whatever, it's working right now for what I'm doing. So I'm gonna get into QuickBooks now. That's my next thing here over these next few days off, and get that all set up. Make sure it's all proper operation. With this new phone and the app, it runs through biometrics, so that's nice. You can get into it real quick, and only you, because it's through your thumbprint. Um, and then you can just get going on this. So I'm looking forward to getting into that. I just wanted to share what's been going on I was gonna disappear for a couple days, but as I see things and as other things have gone on, I've already noticed that if I don't get on here and start talking to you and letting you know, then I forget it, and then I don't have anything documented. This is a great way to document things so that if I do forget, I can go back and look to what I was thinking, like, oh yeah, okay, that makes sense, and try and work it. So I want to really try and, I don't know, I'm interested. This to me now is like it's become a game kind of thing to see where it can go, right? I see that there can be money to be made. Can I make more? Can I unlock more? You know what I mean? Like, I know there's more money. They're making good money. There's a lot of freaking skippers out there. There's a lot of restaurants. Um, and whoever's behind it, this is the master plan, right? Like, it's like that pyramid kind of scheme, but they're on top, and then they just got all these little fucking billy goats running around doing all the work for them. It's ingenious. Um, I don't mind being on my side. It would be nice to be on their side, most definitely. It'd be interesting to see what's going on there. But I think that little race that I had at the end of the shift on the last one, that was that's all got to do with the algorithm. And what I was trying to get at there is the young lad was saying, "Oh, wow, because I saying, oh, look what time it is, this and that. It's like shift's almost over no matter what." He's like, "Yeah, I want to get one more. It'd be nice to get one more." And as I'm running out the door, I'm like, "Yeah, I'd like to too." My phone was in the car, but he had his on his hand. So that's where I'm like, well, are they listening to us or not? Because, yeah, I put the pedal to the metal on that one. And I got there in time, the timer that they gave me. And I wasn't even following their timer. I was just I was going for it. But I saw that I was matching up, so that was pretty cool. My internet connection disappeared. I don't know if it's still on or not. Your internet connection is unstable. Okay, if it's stabilized again, then anyways, I'll continue on. So then I got that order there, and I think I brought an order to that guy before. There's a couple guys that waved to me like they've seen me before. I just started, but that guy looked like I delivered to him before. I just don't recognize the place or remember it. But so many come and go, so quickly. Sometimes you don't. But then I did get another order. So I think there was a little bit of a competition going on. It's like, how bad do you want that last order? Well, how are you? Who's gonna get it? And we're gonna give it to the winner. Basically, is kind of what I was thinking. This could be the case, maybe not. I don't know, but it was fun. Anyways, I got the. I don't know if that kid did. I should have got his name and number and found out if he got another order. I'll probably run into him again. I saw him once or twice there the other day, so I'll see him again. Ask him, did you get another order? um, but yeah, other than this YouTube channel, if they don't catch on to me, I'm just gonna keep my talk on the download to all the other skips out there. Just play my game. If they catch on to this channel, then they get in on all my little secrets and the way I'm thinking, and then all of a sudden let the game begin, right? Because it'll be like the competition's on. Everybody understands how this little algorithm is starting to work and why they are where they are. But the other day too, I didn't mention, I was speaking to that East Indian fella, and I said, "So is there any money to be made?" Or I asked him, "Are you making any money?" He's like, nah. Trying to say he's not making money, and then or that he can't speak English. So I was kind of speaking in broken English, and I knew he could speak fine, but I was just kind of playing with him. And he was doing it back to me, so that's why I did it. But yeah, he's like, just come out at night. That's where the money's to be made. Just come out at night. But I can see there that it's like it averages throughout the day. It's almost the same. Yeah, there's a little bit more at night, but not a ton. But the thing is he said he's been doing it for 7 months, because I asked him how long he'd been doing it. He's like, well, 7 months. I'm like, well, if you've been doing it 7 months, then there's something happening. You're making some money, because I know people wouldn't stick around if there's still money to be made. So that's why I want to put some decent hours in, just get this rolling, get hopping, and see what I can make out of this. Maybe I can get some bump ups, start getting some bonuses, maybe, the more than start making like the $15 to $20 runs every run. And maybe it'll get even higher than that, right? It'd be nice if you can get right up to those $35 runs. But I think that is all due to what city or area you live in. That who knows if Victoria has to offer that. But interesting. It's interesting. It's different. I'm kind of liking it because I don't have to deal with money. That's kind of nice. That's a big up. Everything's paid for, so you know that the money's coming to you, no matter what. Even if there isn't a tip, whatever, you're still gonna get paid. You're keeping busy. So I'd rather accept a shift than not accept a shift, or not, like an order, and then sit around and wait for something that may not come. So you might as well just stay busy. And it's been working out for me, where I just boom, boom, sometimes just one right after another. So I'm not minding that at all. It suits my personality. I get to drive around. I like that. I've been driving lots. I don't have to work with anybody else necessarily. Like all the other drivers are in their own car, and the restaurant communication is very basic. They just want to know your order number, and they want to do business, get their orders out the door, because then they make their money. So you can see that they got their own little system that they got to click into. They got to click into the database, I'm sure, as well, and let them know that we picked it up. So then I let them know that I picked it up on my end, and it just lets the whole computer system work its thing. Yeah. So far, it's been the easiest business I've ever set up. Like, I've set up many other businesses. They were easy as well, but to be up and running and being able to make money this quickly after just going, like, I don't even have my business properly registered, but I've got everything in place more or less. I'm just waiting on that last detail of signing the documents that I have a registered business. Other than that, everything's on the go. Like, usually that's first before this, right? So whatever, it'll all work out. It's all in the process. It's all in the works. Like, I'm just gonna use my regular bank account for now. Why bother getting another business bank account? Once upon a time, it made sense because I was an unlimited corporation making over 250,000 a year. But right now, I'm not. I'm a sole proprietor. So I'm just gonna have everything go through the savings account, and then whatever I need to use for expenses, throw that into the checkings. Regardless, everything's all documented. Like, they can see the money coming in and the money going out. So I could probably just have it go right into my checkings account, and then what I want to save and pull out of the company to purchase, something better for a vehicle or whatever it might be. Have that in the savings just as a buildup. There's no taxes included on any of this for any of the charges. So from what I can see, I don't need a GST number. They do have it in their statement that you're responsible for, all healthcare coverage and everything like that. So I definitely have to get my WCB basically for the province, and it's up to me to get my own healthcare coverage. There's ways of doing that, though. I wish I looked into a little bit more. Some of the guys that I worked with, so I'm sure I'll be able to figure it out. But there's a way that you can get that and you pay through it through your business, but then with how the write-off comes, it comes to you as a personal check when you get your reimbursement. So it's kind of like a little personal bonus because it's like a dividend. You're receiving a dividend, more or less, for your healthcare. So you're paying for healthcare, and then you're writing it off and getting reimbursed back and actually receiving the money. So there's all these things that people don't realize about business. Like there's these little tricks like that where you can have your own personal healthcare that's top quality, and yeah, you're paying out for it all year, but at the end of the year, when the tax system, when you go through the tax system, you get reimbursed on a lot of these big things, and that's where you make it with business. So yeah, I might have to tough it out for the next 2, 3 years, making a little bit lower money like this. But essentially, I'm building a business right now, and I could grow it into who knows what if I play the game right. And I've played the game a couple times now, so if I can play the game right this time without messing up, then I'll be laughing in a few years, right? So take the profit and invest it into real estate or something that's going to uh, regenerate more money so that I can start making just as much money through my rental properties or whatever it might be uh, as what I'm making here. And then it replaces this, right? And I can still do this on the side if I want and have fun with it. And it's just something that I do just to do. Um, but it starts to open up so many more doors, and people don't realize that. And that's why I'm here, because I want to show you that business it's simple. It seems scary. Um, not see some of the advantages right away, but it's that long term. We're in it for the long run. This is not it's not a job, and it's not a get rich quick. It's a get rich and keep it and maintain it and be able to live off of it over the period of time. Um, so it's just building up this little business. This is marketing that's already done for you. You sign on and the jobs come to you. You don't have to market yourself, and then with apps of the bookkeeping, it makes it that much easier as well. Like, and with how kids are learning today, you guys are so smart and so fast. You'll pick all of this kind of stuff up really quickly. The kid that was filling up my car at the gas station, I started talking about business to him. I'm like, man, if you want to make some real money, you get into business. And this business is the fastest to get into and start making a profit off of immediately. That's the important thing here. I'm making a profit already, right? Like I've waited 3, 6 months, 2 years before I made a profit before. I've spent $500,000 on equipment to make $3,000. So you got to learn to understand that this is for the long run, and the benefits over the period of time are what are going to make you the money. Like I said, when I was doing my income taxes before, like before the government caught on that I was a limited corporation, I got 18 grand back the one year and 22 grand back the next. Like those are some big payouts for returns. Well, think about what you can do with that. Like as a landscaping company, 18 grand. It cost me 22 grand to be able to buy my truck, dump trailer, and the excavator that I had with the 2 or 3 buckets. Like that's a pretty decent setup. So you do this right now, and 1 year later, when you get your return, boom, you got this nice chunk of coin to reinvest into your business. Like 20 grand. That's a down payment on a little home, right? And then all your profit that you're making throughout the year, you just keep throwing into that home, and you stay at zero, and you get your tax deferral so that you're not paying all these huge taxes. If anything, you're getting a return again, and you dump it back into that house. you keep doing it till you build up, till you 4 or 5 houses. Because once you do one house, that's paid off. Now it's making you money, and all that money can be put into the second house, right? So if you're interested in what I'm having to say here, read this book or go onto YouTube and look it up and listen to it, because the concept is exactly about what I'm talking about and how you build riches. And anyone can do it. That man did it with a regular average job, and in over 9-year period walked away with 23 houses and a $250,000 a year income. So it can be done. You just got to put your mind to it. But that's about enough for me for now. I'm yammering on. I'm sure I can carry on forever. It's amazing. It's amazing, amazing, amazing. But yeah. So I think over the next few days, I'll still show up on my live stream. That's fine. Won't be doing the skip and dash until I get back at work on Monday. So we'll continue with the skip and dash runs whenever I can get in on it on live streams. So the plan is right now is basically try and do a live stream first thing in the morning, and then just keep going throughout the day as I have time. And like I said, if I don't have time and you don't see me, that means I'm doing good and I don't have the time. So the less time that I'm live streaming right now, the better in a sense, because I'm making more money. But that's what I'm working up to, so that I can live stream all day while I'm on the road, and then bring that kind of fiasco to you and see what kind of entertainment value I can bring to you. Like I go through some crazy situations throughout the day. You can see what life of driving as an independent courier is all about. And I'm not quite sure how long the series will go on for. I think a good year would be great, just to. It's going to get monotonous after a while. There's going to be a lot of the same sort of thing, but when it comes time to actually do some of this paperwork and the taxes, that's when it gets more and more interesting again, because people will start to see, some of the benefit, hopefully. And maybe I can open the doors for some that have the courage with my little bit of knowledge that I have. Maybe I can help them try and expand into something more themselves. I've done it with other people in the past, and I didn't have to put anything in other than just be there, and they saw me there and wanted what I have. That's all it took. They made the initiative and went out and got it. So if that's all it takes here, you see what I'm doing and what I'm able to get to. My goal here now is, if I can do this for a year, do good with it, make a living out of it, and then next year do my taxes and start driving a Porsche while I'm at work. And then we'll YouTube that, ripping around the Porsche, going to all the different little shows with the Porsche, and go check out other Porsches, and we'll still continue to do the live stream with the skip and dash. I don't want the Porsche smelling like food, but don't really have a choice. Regardless, it's entertainment, so I'll pay the price. But you always got to add something to it and try and spice it up somewhere, right? But might as well say my goals and see if I can make it happen. That's just my dreams, whatever. If I can make my dreams come true, then all the more power to me. It'd be fun. Who knows? Maybe by that time I might want a different car. It's hard to say. I know I definitely don't want. But like, this car is great. Don't get me wrong. I like it. The weight is kind of nice. I can feel it on some of the roads. Something a little bit lighter would be great for the peppiness. Um, but I can hug and hold on to that road very nicely with this car. It grips very well. I'm quite satisfied. But yeah, having a V6 definitely does cost. There's a certain value you pay, but it's a business, so it's all right off anyways. Um, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Anyways, have a good night, and it's good seeing you again. Take care, man. So tomorrow we'll have coffee. All right. Have a good night. Take care of yourself.